Desert sunrise, 6:21, rising just like fate. Baby, you know this is never the end if you trust the world.
Jessica Ferndiger, BMW G650GS.
Greg Stone, BMW F750GS.
Keith Pekorski, BMW F650 Dakar.
We're setting off from New Orleans, planning on full days of riding and visiting as many highlights as we can along the way. On day 4, Jess will break off towards home for her first solo trip. Meanwhile, Keith and I will spend the next few days jumping between dirt trails and mountain twisties. Then Keith will continue on to DC for a few days holiday with his girlfriend, Sarah, while I savor the mountain roads on the way home. Finally, things will wrap up when Keith drops Sarah at the airport and rides for home. We get an early start loading the gear onto the bikes. Then we set off to meet Keith for a coffee before heading out.
It is about 7 o'clock. Greg was supposed to get up at like 5:30. I heard the alarm go off, but I think he slept in.
From Avenue Cafe, we head towards the interstate. Keith is a notorious fidgeter while riding, so it's not long before we have to make our first stop for dropped sunglasses. Jess is riding up ahead. She has a huge pair of ladyballs and an utter disregard for speed limits on the interstate, so it's unlikely we'll catch up with her anytime soon. Our first destination is Louisiana State Penitentiary at Angola, about 220 kilometers to the northwest. Jess has a fascination with all things deviant, so a visit to the prison is a must, and she pushes us hard to get there as quick as possible. We pulled in here, and the first thing out of Keith is, I don't usually do 150 miles at a stretch, and a big stretch and a groan. Angola, also known as the Alcatraz of the South and the Farm, is located on land that once comprised 4 plantations. The name Angola comes from one of these, named after the African country where its former slaves originated. Angola, the prison, was opened in the 1840s, and like most things Louisiana, has a history of abuses and corruption. For example, in 1952, 31 inmates cut their Achilles tendons in protest of the conditions. Since 1965, one weekend in April and every Sunday in October, the inmates hold the Angola Prison Rodeo in a 10,000-person stadium along with an arts and crafts festival. Unfortunately, this is July, so we have to satisfy ourselves with a peruse through the museum. After Angola, we stop for a fill-up, and after Keith fidgets with his iPhone and intercom, we're on our way again. From Angola, it's about 100 scenic, forested kilometers to Natchez, Mississippi, where we pick up the Natchez Trace Parkway going east. The Natchez Trace Parkway traverses 3 states, 444 miles, and the traditional homelands of the Natchez, Chickasaw, and Choctaw nations, linking Natchez, Mississippi with Nashville, Tennessee. The route, which was comprised of old highways, was established as part of the National Park System in 1938. The trace was a major trade route during the 1800s and was traversed by the likes of Andrew Jackson, James Audubon, Meriwether Lewis, and Ulysses S. Grant. For us, it's a lovely, meandering byway where we can maintain a constant 50 miles per hour and pull over for a short walkabout and a rest in the shade. We leave Natchez Trace Parkway around Jackson and continue east. It's another 150 kilometers until we reach Meridian, Mississippi. We arrive shortly after dark and decide to call it a day after 650 kilometers of riding. On day 2, we start out bright, early, and eager, until a few hours later we realize something is wrong.
We're wondering why Greg has his shirt off. Mine's even worse. But yeah, here's your, fucking bed bugs. Got it.
Look at this.
Yeah. Sitting there. Fucking gun show going on. Yeah, mine are just as bad. Goddamn hotel.
We're very unsightly when we're sitting somewhere for breakfast, lunch, whatever, and the 2 of us are just scratching, like monkeys the whole time.
Alright, put a shirt on for Christ's sake.
From Meridian, it's about 250 kilometers to Birmingham, where a treasure trove of classic motorbikes awaits us at the Barber Vintage Motorsports Museum. After arriving, we take a few minutes to stow our gear and for Keith to put on his trainers. Then we head on in. George Barber began collecting motorcycles in the 80s and opened his museum in 1995. Today the collection includes more than 1,400 motorbikes and draws more than 250,000 visitors a year. The track is pretty cool too, but we're here to ogle at the bikes. Think of the hemorrhoid you'd get on this thing. You were riding passenger on that. After Barber, a bit of rain, and a gas stop, we head to the northwest corner of Georgia near Chattanooga to visit Rock City. So we've been using Jess's pack safe to lock the helmets and the jackets. So this one steel cable is becoming probably quite a target.
We made it to Rock City. Best part, Starbucks. Having a little lover's quarrel to patch things up.
No. Oh no, there was nothing ever. It's just normal everyday stuff.
No.
Gotcha.
We bicker and
Yes, but we will continue to bicker, and I'll hold this over you for a long time.
Jessica, you won't. You know why?
They're gonna sort it out.
New things.
But
will
this
come.
was
I'll hold that over you.
a great
too.
little ride up to
You can just go to the next thing.
the top of this small mountain, I think. Twisty little windy road through a neighborhood. Greg stopped to get a turtle out of the road, and yeah, Rock City, Georgia. We haven't been in yet. We're about to go check it out. This is all natural formations. It's really something else.
Garnett Carter developed Rock City atop Lookout Mountain for his wife Frida in the 1900s. A popular claim says that you can see 7 states from the Lover's Leap viewpoint. Beneath the garden, a maze of caverns feature a variety of sculptured scenes based on European folklore. So this was their garden.
Yeah.
And in 1932, they ran like a string through it, and that's where the path was formed off. But you know, he was the inventor of Green Thumb or Tom Thumb miniature golf. That was his thing.
Really?
Yeah. That's how he made his fortune. Day 3 is all about riding the tail of the dragon. The rain does not present an auspicious start, so first we head over to GSM Motor Rent in Townsend for some local knowledge about off-tarmac routes and hope the afternoon will be drier.
We made it to GSM Motor Rents in Smoky Mountains, right with the tail. It's a great little place. Good bikes to rent. Really helpful guy helping us with maps and stuff. Flying jackets for rent. And this beautiful map set up here. Discussing maps. And I find it very cute that Greg wants to use the old school traditional maps. And that's fine, but let's count how many times, Jess, that you and I have gone the right direction. And,
I know. And Greg is lost somewhere.
And I have a great video of Greg pulling up. I think we missed the turn back there. Pointing at your tank bag with a piece of paper in it. And I'm just saying, no, we're all good.
The idea though, because Jess was just saying that she wants a proper GPS.
Yeah, I want a GPS for motorcyclists that I can mount.
But I'm kind of liking the idea more and more of a tablet, like an iPad or something, in the
that too.
That's a great idea.
In the tank bag. And it's waterproof.
Yeah.
And it's big enough, you know, it's easy to see. My thing is, it's hard to see.
Yeah. And you can use it for other things, so you're not spending $400 on a GPS that you're only using when you ride. Although the weather is still lousy after lunch, Jess decides that we're going to do the Dragon anyway. For a time the rain worsens and thick fog sets in, But then suddenly it breaks and we enjoy a fantastic ride just in getting to the Dragon along Foothills Parkway. Foothills Parkway deposits us at the northern extreme of the Dragon, where we take a short break. The tarmac is still wet in places, but despite the cloudy skies, the threat of further rain has passed. Tail of the Dragon describes an 11-mile and 318 curve stretch of Highway US 129 that separates the Great Smoky Mountains from Cherokee National Forest. There is one lane in either direction, no intersecting roads, street lights, or stop signs, and spectacular forest scenery. Starting out, Jess prefers to follow, but she keeps up beautifully, and we use the occasional turnouts to change up the riding order so that each rides behind each and everyone gets filmed on everyone else's riding camera. If you prefer a professional snapshot, it's already done. Just go online afterwards to find yours. At the end of the Dragon, we pull into Deal's Gap for a soda, some chain lube, and yes, to buy Tail of the Dragon stickers for our panniers. In the next episode, we pay a visit to the Wheels in Time Motorcycle Museum, and then Jess starts her solo trip home with the Blue Ridge Parkway, while Keith and I hit some fire roads. Then Jess visits DeSoto Falls and Chia Mountain, while Keith and I face some real challenges on an ATV trail at Doe Mountain. Hope you'll join us.
Baby, you know this is never the end if you trust the world. All I can do is smile as you soften your eyes and draw curves with your questions till there's nothing left to say.